what's up?
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, traders. Hey. What's up?
Hi,
Welcome
friends.
to Gotta Watch 'Em All. Lured Up, episode 12.
12, a dozen. The dozenth episode.
The doesn't.
What's going on? Today is Sunday, December 17th, 2017. That's when we're recording this. It's a Sunday.
That's the date.
That's the date.
Sunday fun day.
It has been a Sunday fun day for most Pokemon trainers out there, but not me because Melissa had me on house arrest all day today. So I didn't get to play.
Yes.
We did them all while. But let me break down what we're going to be doing on this episode. There's a lot of stuff to cover. Last week was probably the busiest week of Pokemon Go with all the update madness. And it's kind of carried into this week a bit because we had some more surprise news, but this is what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about Ho-Oh's gone, Groudon is in, that's totally ridiculous, EX raids on Christmas, we're going to take a look at the weather system, what we experienced so far in the first week, new information on Gen 3 evolutions, and there was this Ingress AMA where we got some information that's kind of can carry over to Pokemon Go, so we'll discuss all that. But the big news of the week is Groudon. They dropped a bomb on us. On the 14th, Ho-Oh went away. The 15th, we had no one. Everyone was kind of scratching their heads. The next day, Groudon is available worldwide for a month till January 15th. Groudon is here. Adam, did you get a chance to go get Groudon yet?
I showed up to my first Groudon, and my battery was at 17%. Like, as I was, getting off the highway, I was like, oh no. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, my phone was plugged in the whole time. I get there, and by the time I get there, my battery's now down to like 7.
Oh, no.
And people are like, oh, we're still on our way.
No.
And I'm like, I don't know. I gotta ask if, and so I get out of my car. I start asking people if they have like an iPhone charger, because I'm like, well, maybe it's not my car. It's just the plug. Nobody has one. So I run across the street to the gas station, get one, come back, plug it into my car, and nothing happens.
I was going to say gas station charger style. That's the worst.
No, it seems like a legit one, too. And then it's like, okay, so it's just my car then, must be like a fuse or something. And nobody, so I plug it into another person's car. They, let me, plug it into their car. As I'm plugging it in, it dies.
No.
Because I'm the only one there with an iPhone. Everybody goes in, and they're like, oh yeah, you just keep it plugged in. You'll be able to jump in. I'm like, 120 seconds? No. There's no way. Yeah, so everybody was started battling before it. I was like, nah, I'm just going to leave.
Oh, no.
That's heart-wrenching, dude.
Yeah, that stunk. But then on my way to work the next day, I was able to leave a little early and catch one.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Good.
So how huge was it?
It wasn't very huge. It was strong HP or something and strong. Stats are underwhelming.
So the first day they came out here, we had this flash blizzard out of nowhere where it was cold all day, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, within
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, it was after I picked up Josh from school, and we were like, all right, let's go. We're going to go get a...
It was at 2 when it started flurrying. Yes, because I came home from work, and I was leaving to go back into work, and I said to you...
That was barely flurries. Barely flurries.
But I said to you, it just started flurrying. Then I turn around, and I go to walk out, and there's 5 inches of snow on the ground.
What?
It was literally 3 inches of snow on the ground. I go out, I'm like, okay.
No, it was... So it started coming down, and this was one of those times where the Jersey, they were just not prepared in any way, shape, or form, so the roads became
It was horrific.
Soup.
It was literally 3
so
inches
bad.
in 3
just
hours,
slush of,
and we weren't prepared for it. So I was all over the place.
But the raid group is popping off on chat, and everyone's like, "There's a Groudon," When we went, to one of the first that was popped. Melissa was just getting out of work. She's like, "Where are you guys?" And we're like, "We're doing a Groudon." She's like, "You're out in the blizzard."
I was freaking out. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I was like, "Yo,
right
I gotta
now?"
get this Groudon." Josh is like,
I was like, "Where's Josh?" She's like, "Where's
he got lost in the snowstorm.
No, so we got to the raid on time, and the I think 15 minutes after when we said we were going to meet, everyone finally started rolling up because it was literally like a 5-mile-an-hour commute to get there because it was so bad on the roads. But we ended up having 15 or 16 people, took it down no problem. Josh caught it on the second ball. I caught mine on like the fourth or fifth ball. None too great IVs, but it was cool because it was on a snowy backdrop, which was pretty neat because it was just madness. And then as soon as we caught it, we just like slowly drove our butts home.
Speaking of 16 people in a raid, that's the exact number that I had. Only I was the one Team Instinct. Everybody else was Valor or Mystic. And out of all of that, I got, I think 6 balls is my total, and then I got 7 balls and then no extra bonuses.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna have a tough time with this. And the first ball I throw, it just dings off his head, and it just bounces off because he starts attacking. I get a great, instantly pops out, and I think it was like the 5th ball that I finally caught it. But I was just like, out of against all odds, I still got it. Being the only Team Instinct. Maybe the game just felt bad for me. You're like, geez, sorry, kid.
It was just destined. It was destined for you to get it.
Oh, no.
Destined.
And then I appraise it, and I'm like, ugh, come on.
They're like, here, we're destined to have this caca.
All right, so let's dig into the science a little bit really quick with Groudon here. This is the biggest raid boss we've seen, 51,968 CP as a raid boss. The perfect CP for level 20 is 2328, and weather boosted is 2910. So when I was doing the show notes and I'm breaking down these strategies here and I'm start writing it out, I'm like, man, this is really cool because I'm having to take a little bit of a different approach to kind of gathering the information on Groudon, where you don't want to just look at, the basic raid guides that are going to tell you the counters. We'll go through all that. But what I was interested in was, what are the different weather conditions that you're going to need to kind of be aware of when you're going up against Groudon? Now, Groudon is weak to water, grass, and ice. There's never going to be a super effective damage situation, right? So the charge moves that Groudon can get are Fire Blast, Earthquake, and Solar Beam. All 3 of those types are all boosted by sunny or clear weather. So if you're fighting a Groudon in sunny or clear weather, no matter what charge move they have, it's going to be boosted. Now, if they have Earthquake and they happen to have Mud Shot as the quick move, now you're going to have boosted ground type plus quick move, and you're going to have boosted CP. So it was just really interesting seeing how like the weather is going to affect all this stuff. And then it said, well, what's the flip side? What, as an attacker, what do you want to look for? Now, we're kind of talking before the show of how awesome Gyarados is now with Waterfall. So the Waterfall Hydro Pump Gyarados is, the top water attacker. It's the top dog. So going up against Groudon, you're going to have effective damage, but you're only going to take half damage from the Solar Beam, even, if it's weather boosted and all that. So a lot of different types of strategies. Who did you bring, Adam, when you fought him? What was your party like? Because this is probably the hardest legendary to prepare for ahead of time because it's so diverse.
It was Gyarados with Waterfall, Hydro Pump, and Lugia. Well, all of my Lugias were in there.
I did when I had the Gyarados up front. I had my Exeggutor. I had Vaporeons with Water Gun, Hydro Pump. I think I brought my Venusaur. So one of the things I want to start doing, and I've talked about this before, is kind of just diversifying the lineups a bit. So here's the Pokemon that Pokemon Go Hub recommends as the best counters for Groudon. Gyarados with Waterfall, Hydro Pump, and anything with Solar Beam. So Exeggutor with Solar Beam, Ho-Oh Solar Beam, Groudon Solar Beam, Venusaur Solar Beam. So anything with Solar Beam is going to be good. Now, this is personally good for me. I have a 96% Articuno that I sunk a ton of candy into, rare candy, and powered it up all the way. I now have a reason to use an ice Pokemon because Groudon is weak to ice. So if you throw an Articuno in a mix, they're also going to have, you can get good stab bonuses. With the snow, I was getting bonuses on that when I was fighting with my Articuno. So the weather is playing such a cool role in all this. The game has really changed completely, and the raid meta is totally different now. And I don't know. I think that's really cool. I don't know, Melissa, if that's too nerdy for you, but
yeah, here it is, nerd.
Well, I thought I'm a while by myself, and I'm a while ago. No, just kidding. No, but and it's like it gave me all Flareons, and because it was sunny, my fire types were boosted.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's cool. It's really cool. It's really going to diversify the Pokemon you use. And one of the things I'm going to do personally is build out some battle parties that are based on the weather. So I could have, my squad of water types for when it's raining. I can have, when the clear build for sunny days, or I could have different grass or different, it's so cool. It's so cool.
We only have those 5 slots, so.
Well, look, they said it's in beta. They said they're going to update it. I'm excited to see how this pans out because I think it's a really cool feature. One of the coolest things they've added to the game. There's so much diversity now, but Groudon, man, it's a tough thing to kind of plan for because you're really going to have to see what they recommend to kind of guess what moveset it's going to have. But, mine had Solar Beam. So the Solar Beam is always damaging. Oh, and the throw distance on Groudon is kind of funky too. It's huge and big, but it's set back kind of in that like 3/4 distance.
I don't like that
range.
Is it far back like where like Ho-Oh was?
No, but Ho-Oh had the giant circle, so it was so big, but it was right up in your face. This thing is like you have to really do a long arc, a long sweeping arc to do a big curveball on it. So it's a little bit further back, so it definitely feels weird, but it's one of the coolest looking Pokemon, and it takes up the whole screen. You can't even see the CP unless you turn the Pokemon sideways. So
I can't wait to battle him.
Yeah, well, we could have done 20 of them today with the group.
I wasn't in the mood to today.
No. Look, we actually did a good thing today. We're converting the game room here in our house to
a studio
for YouTube and all fun stuff for our son and for our channel. So we started that project today, moving furniture and all that. So that's what we do. So I can't really complain. Actually, I can complain.
No.
But no.
Yeah.
But no.
I'm -7 Groudons today.
We did a raid though today.
No, we did them a while. We're trying to get that shiny. No, that's what we were hoping for, but it went out like nothing.
Yeah.
It was and the same thing. All Flareons, just we smoked it.
Yeah.
Totally smoked it. Let's talk about this now. This is an interesting one because Melissa and I are torn on this. The next round of EX raid passes went out, and the raid is at 5 p.m. on Christmas Day.
Stupid.
All right.
Stupid.
Oh, did you meet Melissa's new? I have a new nickname for her. She's now the Internet. That's what I call her now whenever we talk about anything.
Because everything is stupid.
Everything is stupid, and she hates everything. I was
hey,
just
Melissa,
like,
let us know what the Internet or how the Internet is going to act.
They're going to believe it's stupid too. They're going to agree with me that it's completely stupid.
That's why she's the Internet.
You have to leave your house
like...
at 5 p.m. when you got all your goodies and it's warm and you want to stay home and eat your Christmas foods or your Christmas leftovers from Christmas Eve and not do anything. You don't want to go out.
Yeah, maybe you don't. I do. I would.
I do.
Dude,
I want to go.
No.
So one of the parks that they're having the EX raid at by us is literally 5 minutes from us in this park that we've raided at before. I haven't raided there recently, but it's 5 minutes from our house. So it's like, man, I would if I got that raid pass for Christmas Day, I would be souped up. But
yeah,
I know
it's
I'd be
right around the
tickled
corner
pink.
from the house.
But I also we celebrate like Christmas with the family and everything on Christmas Eve. So we're around on Christmas Day. I understand not a lot of people are around, so that's why people could be upset. And then they could be like, hey, this is disrespectful to families, to have it on this date. Look, it's a weird thing.
It's
But
not disrespectful to families. It's if you're hardcore, you're gonna go.
Yes,
if
that's
not,
the spirit.
If you're not, then just bite the bullet and say, I'm not hardcore.
And
I
there's the
ain't gonna
internet.
get my EX.
Like
There's the
it's a
internet.
Christmas present that Niantic is giving you.
Yeah,
like
that is his Christmas
It's Christmas.
present.
Here's
I'll give
our
it that.
present to you, and you're gonna complain to us about it? Are you kidding me?
It's
Yeah.
fine because it's fun seeing the different reactions, and how it's really divided the crowd. Like, my local groups that all got them, everyone's excited. I didn't have that kind of vitriol.
Guys in our group got them?
J Mark, if you're listening, he tagged me. He's like, yo, I got it. He goes, who else got one from West Long Branch? So it's like, so he got one, and I would be gassed up. Stephen Phillips got one on his second account. That's I think his is down in Tom's River. So we've got a lot of people in this area that got the passes.
Good for you guys. Good luck.
Yeah, but see, everyone's excited. But then you turn to Twitter and the gloom and doom, the black cloud follows over Twitter and everyone's like, how dare you on Christmas? It's like, I don't know. It's interesting. The community is torn. The community is split.
Yeah, because if we had to go to like family's house, which 90% of people do, is they travel on Christmas.
It's
Day.
50% because 50% are home, 50% go somewhere.
No, well, and then we have those that don't even celebrate the holiday.
I'm just saying, I'd be excited. That's what makes this interesting. Is the community is split. That's what it's fun. It's
right,
fun.
but like Christmas is like you are with your family Christmas Eve, and everybody goes to bed. Wakes up, it's Christmas. You open your gifts. I don't know who opens gifts from the second they wake up until 5 o'clock.
No, but the thing
like
is,
normally you get with your family and eat like earlier. So like I'd say like 3 or 4 is like
I don't care. I'm
exactly.
leaving. I'm
at
like
3 or 4. You're eating
I
dinner
want to be
with your
the
family.
very best.
And
yeah,
then
and
at
at
5
5
o'clock,
no one
go catch
ever
that
wants
YouTube.
you're supposed to be doing dessert and games and all that fun stuff.
No,
oh no, nobody
training.
does that.
I need to train.
They're all exhausted.
But anyway, it's a very interesting topic, and it's going to be weird to see. And I heard like in Germany and in Europe, there was a lot that went out to gyms that were in malls that are closed. So it's like you can't. So on the and from that perspective, that's they're going to cancel it probably. And I even saw one mall that said that they were opening in Europe. They're going to open the mall just for the raid, which was kind of cool, but. They have a plan in place, Niantic, if they cancel an EX raid that you've been invited to, they give you Stardust, they give you raid passes or something like that. But I wish it was me. Nick from Trainer Tips said that he was in Singapore and he was raiding with Brandon Tan, who's like the number 1 Pokemon Go player in the world. And he's done like 3,000 legendary raids and still no EX pass for him. So,
wow.
Yeah, the system is a little flawed, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say it's flawed. It's got its own little.
It's flawed like crazy.
Its own little algorithm.
You say that because you've had an EX raid pass and you have.
And
a Mewtwo.
if I didn't get it, I'd feel exactly the same way.
No, you'd be the internet.
No, I wouldn't, because you know why? Because I get shafted on the babies, I got shafted on the shinies, and I figured I was always going to get shafted on the
EX.
On
you
the
have a
EX,
Mewtwo,
so
right?
Yeah,
I do.
Okay, so this is why she's the internet.
That's what I'm talking about. And if it was the other way around, she'd have a pitchfork and a torch, and she'd be like, Niantic!
Maybe half true story.
All right, so that's an interesting thing. We'll see if any of them get canceled or if Niantic has a statement or they reply and address the fact that kind of the community is up in arms and all over the place on this one. But we'll see what happens. We talked about the weather. Have you guys had more snow in New Hampshire? Like, have you had bad weather in the past week?
Yes. I've had like an overnight storm, and that kind of just left like this awful crunchy layer of snow. Because it quickly
froze.
Yeah, because it's just been freezing here. So
we've had really cold stuff too. But were you getting snow condition with extreme? Yes. Were you getting extreme weather warnings like the red bar across the snowy page? Or
yes, it wasn't extreme, but it just said, "Hey, watch out! There's some for hazards or whatever." I don't know. Yeah. I guess that's extreme. Yeah, it just didn't give me the big exclamation point that said "Pokemon are hiding."
So we talked about this last week where people were getting this in error, and the same thing happened to me the following day. I'm on my way to work. It's clear, clear skies. The sun is out, and the whole morning I had the extreme weather indicator, running on the game. So I had no weather conditions at all going on. So I felt the pain of the internet saying, look, this is busted. This is kind of messed up. We don't know how to fix this. We don't know where they're pulling their weather data from, but something's screwy. And I kind of saw that the next day. And I've seen it here and there where the extreme thing has popped up. And, when we were out there getting Groudon and it was, the blizzard that, no one should be outside at all. And it was still just snowing in the game. So they didn't consider that the extreme. They got to tweak it. I'm sure it'll be developed over time, but I do feel like I'm missing out when I get the extreme notification because I want that I want those extra spawns, because that's the extra Stardust is great. For me, that's not as important. For me, I just want more spawns. So whenever anything can create more spawns and I have the opportunity to get more catches, I'm all about that. So when the weather is off, it's like, oh man, I feel like I'm shortchanged.
Oh my God, you feel like you're gypped.
Yeah, but because that's the way it was. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh man, the game is the way it was before they introduced weather. That's lame. It's not.
Oh my God.
But it's not. But
Greedy.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm already conditioned. I want those extra spawns.
Greedy.
I'm greedy.
So, and another thing I want to talk about with weather-based spawns. So we know that they're going to increase by 5 levels. So there was some studies that I believe GoHub did talking about the IVs of weather-boosted Pokemon. So you're not guaranteed to have a higher IV Pokemon if it's weather-boosted, but rather than it being 0 IV to 15 IV Pokemon in the available pool that could spawn, a weather-based spawn, the IVs start at 4. So you're only going to have between 4 and 15. So you're never really going to get the 0 to 3s. So you have a better chance at getting a good Pokemon, but there's no guarantee. So I thought that was interesting because you can get better IV Pokemon or have a better chance at getting a better IV Pokemon if it's weather boosted because you're cutting out the 0 through 3.
Yeah, I caught a weather boosted C-Dot and he's 98%.
Nice.
Only
I
you,
think I have one
only
like
you
that
would
too.
check your C-Dot.
No,
IVs.
I check my C-Dot too.
But there was a cool infographic that came out showing the min-max IVs for all of the raid bosses, level 1 through the legendaries, with their standard and weather-boosted CP ranges. So it's very handy, but some of these CPs can be really high if they're weather-boosted on these legendaries. I think it was Mewtwo can be up to 2844. There's some big boosts that these Pokemon can see with the weather, but I don't know, man. I've just been thoroughly enjoying the weather. I think it's so cool. I can't wait for PvP.
I still wish that there was a way to see which Pokemon are weather boosted when you're scrolling through your...
Well, you just have to know what kind of attacks, because you got to remember...
I'm just saying, when you're looking at this menu, when you bring up your Pokemon,
right?
I wish that there was a way right here, without having to touch on the Pokemon, to see whether or not they have the weather boost. Like, if their number had, the letters CP were in blue.
But the CP isn't going to be changed on your Pokemon. Only the bonus to their damage of their moves is going to be boosted.
You're right, but you would know that.
But you would know that that they have a benefit.
There's an indicator.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
And then that, or even a way to, they have the search engine. There's no way to search on whether.
Or just a simple swoosh.
Yeah, something, anything, a little, exactly, a little swoosh.
That would be cool if they added boost to the search, or something like that. That you can pull them up quickly.
I tried weather.
Yeah, that would be cool. But see, I have a naming convention for all my Pokemon, so I use acronyms of their moves in their name, so I know exactly what moves they have by looking at their name. So that way, I'll just know. But I totally see what you're saying. That would be helpful from that screen, just so you would know right off the bat. Yeah,
because when I do a raid, I just open my menu, hit CP. I want to see which ones of my highest CP guys have a weather boost.
Well, that's why I'm gonna have specific raid parties for the weather.
Wow.
So cool, man! It's the coolest thing in the whole game. It's gonna be awesome with PvP. I can't wait to just own that mechanic and drop fools. We're not gonna know what happened. Waterfall hydro pump when it's raining. Oh, all right. Did you see the article that they talked about new evolution items being announced and some kind of buddy information? This was live on the website, on Niantic's site for, I think, a day, and then it reverted back to an older form. But did you see this article?
Yeah, we're going to get 2 new evolution items. We're going to get the Deep Sea Scale, which changes Clamperl to Gorbis, and then we're going to get a Deep Sea Tooth, which changes Clamperl to Huntail. And the buddy distance for, I believe, Phoebus. It requires you to walk I think 20 kilometers.
Right. So this is, and that's in the Game Master file. They show a really cool image of the file itself, and it shows, Phoebus 20K buddy distance. So this was live on the evolution items like database page on Niantic's site on the Pokemon Go Live.com. And the verbiage in the language was even changed because at one point it said there's 7 evolution items and, including, and that's when they dropped the Deep Sea Scale and Tooth. But now if you go onto the evolution item page, it's reverted back to saying there's 5 items and it's just the 5 existing ones, that we've had forever. So it's like, it's interesting that the page went live and then people found it, posted it everywhere, and it was like, no, not yet, too soon. 2 more evolution items. I'm down with that because I just have so many redundant doubles and triples, and I think I have like 8 dragon scales and 10 upgrades.
Yeah, no, see, I still need
delete all
Porygon
those.
too.
No, I don't want to delete them. That's the
Dude,
thing.
I've convinced myself after like us talking about it from going from 2, keeping 2 of everything to 3. So like that's pushing it for me.
Yeah, no, I've got so many, but look, now that the items are different where the volume of potions and stuff you get, I've got the room. I'm not, flirting with that 1,500 item count anymore as I used to because I've just got less potions and less stuff on hand. And I totally didn't get to go item farming today because I was on house arrest. So I have 0 Pokeballs at the moment, so I'm all messed up.
No.
I'm all messed up.
I've ruined his
You
Pokemon
did,
playing
because
for the week.
This plays
ladies
me
and
out.
gentlemen.
This messes me up for the next couple days because I work so much during the
For the
first
week.
4 days of the week.
For the entire week until Friday, and then Friday you get to re-up.
Played. No, this just means, and I hate this, but I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I leave for work an hour early so I can go to Red Bank and stock up for an hour before I go to work.
Oh my goodness!
You see, give me that EX-ray pass
I
on
think
Christmas.
he's hardcore.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god!
I'm trying to get this level 40 because I know what's going to happen is I'm going to be right before getting level 40 and they're going to raise the level cap right before I hit 40 and I'm going to feel so bad because I need to hit this. I'm like 2.5 million.
Why? Why do you need to hit 40 so bad? Like, are you going to, when you hit 40, you're
I'm
going to
gonna do a dance.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm accomplished.
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why? If you know that they're going to raise the level cap,
Because
you're never going to stop playing the game. So now you've hit the top, and now you have nothing else to accomplish.
Ladies and gentlemen, the internet.
I'm just
Ladies
saying.
and gentlemen, the internet.
I'm just saying.
We give you
The internet.
the internet.
Take your time, man.
All right, speaking of the internet,
Don't
let's
rush
talk.
it.
Let's talk about beefs with Niantic real quick. So, Go Plus still isn't fixed, right? So we've a couple weeks ago.
Plus.
It's probably been 4 or 5 episodes. We talked about the known issues page on Niantic's website. So I went to the known issues page to see kind of what was going on. Have you looked through this page? It does not look like they've updated it really in a bit.
No, it's all the same.
And under accessories, Pokemon Go Plus accessory issue on iOS 11, still in the investigating stage. So they have the investigating,
we don't care.
they have in the works, and they have resolved. Those are the 3 headings. And yeah, they're still investigating what is going on. It's not even in the works yet. Like,
What are you guys
bro.
doing? What are you guys doing? Why would you make us spend our money on something that we can't use?
Tell them, internet. Tell them.
Come on.
No.
Mine hasn't worked in like 3-4 months.
So I remember the day I upgraded to iOS 11, and I was like so torn because I wanted the damn screen recorder, and I was like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna lose Go Plus. I can live without Go Plus, and then it was like, I regret it so much.
Yeah.
No.
Right there with you.
But I thought that was interesting that that's still in the investigating stage. I'll put a link to this page in the show notes because they do have an email that you can submit issues directly to their support. So if you don't want to go through, the Niantic support on Twitter, you can go through this email, which is,
Why don't we just all mass bombard them with an email and it all we say
Fix
is,
Go Plus.
Yeah, it's Fix Go Plus. That's it. That's all it needs to say. Just send it.
We'll mail them a physical hashtag Fix Go Plus.
Yeah, like on a piece of paper.
Oh,
on a
that's
piece of
perfect.
paper, write it down and physically mail it to them.
It's interesting that this page is still up and running. It's just it doesn't seem like it's updated. I wish they had timestamps like this. This page was updated on. That was like old GeoCity style back in the day when the web first started.
The webs.
The
The
interwebs.
interwebs.
You used to have like visitor counters and webmaster logins. Like the last login from the webmaster that's old school right there. But yeah, it was interesting taking a look at this. But I'm starting to get a little bummed with the Go Plus, man. I really just want that functionality back. And they did make an improvement where instead of now it having to buzz 3 times, it sometimes will initiate the catch after 2 buzzes. So it's still not fixed, but it's a little bit better. But
yeah, I have noticed a little bit of change.
A little bit of a change, right? It's like, what the heck? Like you would think, the internet would think that they could just flip a switch and it would be fixed, right?
No, well,
yeah,
you know
that's
what
all it is. It's
I
just
would really, I would just really like to
Harry
not have
Potter wand,
to.
Expelliarmus.
I'd really like to not have to turn off my Bluetooth, hard reset the device, then make it forget it from the game, then turn my Bluetooth on. I just don't want to take 20 steps to maybe connect.
Yeah, it's just like open
Maybe.
up the document, you know what I mean? Just get rid of that one code that says iOS 11 problem, and that fixes the Go Plus.
Replace it with fixed text. Hashtag fixed inside the code. Game master file now shows hashtag fixed about Go Plus.
So it went from investigating to taken care of.
Yeah, Dunskies. Resolved. Last bit of information I want to talk about here. There was an AMA of an English developer talking about OpenStreetMap. And we've talked about this over the past couple weeks where the changeover from Google Maps to OpenStreetMap took place. And we didn't really know much details about it. The kind of maps were a little bit incomplete. It looked interesting. So what we've learned from this Ingress AMA is this is now the common standard for all Niantic games. So Ingress, Pokemon Go, and the Harry Potter Wizards Unite will all be running on OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap is here to stay as the infrastructure. Now, what I did was I went to OpenStreetMap, I created an account, I logged in, I looked at my local area, and the park that's right by my house is completely not detailed. It's outlined as a, park area, but you can go in on a much more granular level. And I started making edits where I was like, mapping out the soccer field, labeling it a soccer field, mapping out the baseball fields and all that, all that stuff. And it filled in that world. It filled in the map with more details and layers of colors that it's going to be interesting because Melissa was talking last week. We go to this park and there's nothing there. Like this,
it's so annoying.
There's no spawns at all. Like you would think that you're in just like a dead zone. It's bizarre. So now that I've detailed this park, it's going to be interesting to see if OpenStreetMap pushes that data forward to Niantic. We just don't know what the schedule is. Like how often are we going to be updating? Because I want to go in and where you see these breaks in the road where, the road will just stop. You'll have 3 blocks of just blank and then the road picks up again. You can go in OpenStreetMap and there might be a missing section in the road that you could just plot out. Like I think within 10 minutes I was up and running and went through the tutorial of how to make edits in OpenStreetMap. So I definitely encourage everyone to check it out. And
I hope people don't take advantage of that, though.
Well, that's the malicious side of it where people could be like, yo, there's a monument at my house or something like that, or, make a hiking path around their backyard or,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people can do that and kind of screw with the game, but it's just like Wikipedia. If you make that change, I could see that. And if I know it's not like that, I could fix it. So it has its own kind of etiquette. I think it's very self-governed. And from what I saw with, just doing research of the communities of people that play with this and the geocaching scene, which is really, really popular with OpenStreetMap, I think it's very well governed. And, all the bogus stuff would kind of get called out and fixed, just like it does on Wikipedia, usually. I don't know, Adam, have you messed with OpenStreetMap at all? Or is that something that interests you? You should play with it.
I mean, I feel like I should. I mean, there are like trails like in the back of my house and in front of my house. So I mean, like, it wouldn't be wrong if I added those, right?
No, because you can add it as a footpath. Sure.
I mean, you were saying how adding something to my backyard would be like weird, but not or abusive or whatever. And
well, yeah, because you can't put it on private property. Like if you know that you're putting something on private property, that's like just a crappy thing to do, like because
yeah, but if it's a common place, if it's like an actual footpath,
like if other people can walk past your that path, then go ahead and put that down.
Oh, okay.
No, I totally would. It's worth messing around with because there could be areas that might be mapped out, but just not at the level of detail that you can get down. And it's really cool the way it works. And it's almost like a game. Like I felt like I was playing The Sims or something. Like I was like Roller Coaster Tycoon, you know. I'm just playing with the map, and you can, you know, look at it from satellite view, and you're like, that's my house. Like it's really cool how it works. I had a lot of fun playing with it, but I'm gonna do that in much more detail. And, you know, all the parks that are around me, I'm going to make sure that they're all tagged properly and labeled properly, because if that's what's going to influence spawn data, you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would love to have more spawns around my house.
Well,
that'd be fantastic.
But we have parks and, you know, hiking trails and all that stuff right around us, and forest and greens all over. So it's like we're in a good spot. But we got to make sure the map is populated.
Correct.
Yeah. I was going to talk about Absol, but Adam, so what's up, man? You think Delibird is coming? Like, now that we have Groudon here, and that's going to be till January 15th, are we going to have a holiday event? Like,
Yes, we're going to get Delibird.
The hashtag Delibird hype is real, but it seems weird that Groudon came out and it's stretching out till mid-January. Is there going to be a holiday event? Like, what? I wonder what they're going to do. Did you see the sale box?
Sense.
Did you see
yes,
that?
I saw the sale box.
Yep. So they put a special box in that's, I think, 480 coins. It's 6 raid passes.
It's stupid.
It's 5 incense. The internet. 5 incense and I think 10 pineapple berries or something.
Stupid.
Yeah, this is all for Gen 3 hype.
Well, if you're a raider and you want that Groudon, it's a good deal, because you're ready. You're going to pay 600 coins normally for 6 raid passes. So you're saving 120 coins off the 6 raid passes. Plus, you're getting 5 incense and some pineapples thrown in. It was weird that they only did one box. Like, that's the one option. But that leads to make you think maybe the 21st. Maybe they're going to do a full-blown holiday event with 3 boxes available. They'll bring super incubators back or whatever. But
I'm okay with that then.
Yeah, but what is it? Delibird though?
It
has to be. Listen. They updated Pokemon Duel's Christmas icon.
Oh yes.
It has a Delibird in it.
Yes,
that's cool.
It's Pikachu, Sceptile, and Delibird. So typically they will all the different Pokemon properties will kind of market in unison with characters. Like a lot of the times it'll be like, okay, here's Eevee, and Eevee will be in every ad or whatever. But now they're using Delibird in that icon.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be?
He's coming, Adam. Don't worry, Adam. He's on his way.
He knows if you're thinking he's coming or not.
I can't wait till he's actually out so I can call you on the phone and just scream, Delibird!
Well, GoHub put out an article saying, talking about the Christmas EX raid, and they're like, could it be Delibird as an EX raid on Christmas Day?
That would be awesome. See,
no!
That would be hilarious.
No, I would be so upset. That's the one thing that I think I would be more like...
You would die.
Like, I would be there for Mewtwo, and then it'd be Delibird. Like, yes, I'd be super excited, but at the same time, I'm like...
This is my
I'm here for Mewtwo, and it's Delibird.
Yeah,
I could solo this. I could solo this.
Yeah, because I was bitter, like, when I went to Mewtwo and the thought of it being Ho-Oh.
Yeah,
I was just like, don't you dare do that to me.
No, but I don't know. I would imagine that the end of the Groudon era, right, the 15th of January, could that be the next time they drop additional Gen 3s? So let's say there's 135 total. We already have 55. So let's say of the remaining, 60 or so that they're going to have before holding back the other legendaries. Do they come out with another 30 Gen 3 at the end of Groudon's term?
No. So what I think they're going to do, because they can play this off. They can keep playing this off. So if it's on the 15th, that's a Monday. Groudon officially goes away Tuesday is probably what's going to happen. They're going to be like, oh, we'll give it to you for an extra day. And then we're going to go till Friday, because that's when the app updates and everything on Thursday. So we're going to get on Friday, that Friday the 19th, I believe we'll get our next either event or a wave of Gen 3.
What about who would be the legendary? Do you think they're going to bring in Kyogre at the same time, though? Or
yes.
Right?
I think Kyogre would come in. And that pushes us to
February.
Like February the 12th. And then right into Valentine's Day, which is the 14th, right?
Right.
And so that you can have your Valentine's event on that Wednesday.
Well, then you could maybe play off like Latios and Latios and Valentine's Day. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're going to have to release more Gen 3 by mid-January, because I think people are going to be pretty well caught up with the 50 by then.
Yeah, I purposely haven't caught any, like, I'm only catching the evolutions if I see them. Like, I won't purposely evolve into a Shiftry, even though I have that 98% C-Dot.
Yeah. I haven't done any evolutions because I'm banking and holding out to see if something does happen on the 21st, and we do get some kind of bonus or buff or, extra Stardust. I don't know what it could be, but I'm loving the fact that I have the 1500 storage for Pokemon now, because I have so much candy, like for Weedles and Pidgeys because of the weather boost, that I think I have 600 or 700 Pidgey candy, 500 Weedle candy. I could do probably 2.5 hours worth of evolution parties right now.
Out of control.
And because I've cleaned
out of control.
Look,
I've
cleaned out my Pokemon box to just be like mathematically what I would need that I can evolve.
You are sick, dude.
Well, I want to maximize my storage. So I have, I think, 1,350 or close to 1,400 Pokemon right now in my box, and they're all either keepers or I can evolve them. So I would think that I could probably evolve close to 400 Pokemon right now, 400 or 500 Pokemon. So that's like 70 an hour. Like I could do hours worth of evolution parties at this point. I'm hitting that level 40 before New Year. I'm telling you, that was the mission.
Oh my god, dude!
And I don't even grind raids. I don't even grind raids with lucky eggs. That's really the way to boost XP. I don't even do that.
Oh my god!
Oh, let me talk about my buddy Jay. Jay, I gotta give you a shout out here. So, of course, when the news of Groudon hits, he messaged me on Facebook, and, we're all going nuts and, all giddy and everything, like, let's go, let's do this, right? So, the next day, Groudon's then been out for 2 days. He messages me, he goes, I'm 19 for 20 with Groudon. I was like, dude,
yeah,
freaking beast mode, like 20 raids in 2 days.
And this guy's got 3 kids. Like, I said, how is it, how did you manage that?
Hardcore. He is hardcore.
He's like, I get them snack packs.
That's what I said.
They're out the door at 5:30 with me.
Dude, he sent me a video of his son catching a Mewtwo in an EX raid with a critical catch on the first ball. It is awesome. The cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's awesome.
The whole family is in on it. It's so awesome.
Wow.
But yeah, dude, 20 raids in 2 days. And I think our group here in Jersey Shore, I think they did like a dozen Groudon today. Because they started playing around noon, and they were just back to back to back nonstop. I was trying to sneak into some of those. I was like, what's the drop time? And they're like, and he's like, we just dropped. I'm like, oh, I kept missing them.
I kept telling Ken if one had popped at the SPCA right here by our house, we would go. But
it was a Tyranitar. Well, I was like hoping for an Absol because it was level 4, and then it popped and was Tyranitar. So no interest.
Tyrannies.
No interest on that. Couple more things I want to cover before we go. The 38th nest migration happened. My park by my job is now a Pikachu nest, which is awesome. So I can work on that Pikachu medal. But you have any nests that you've seen rotate or anything going on? I want to find some Gen 3 nests.
So my nest changed from Jinx to a bunch of bugs. And that was like before this one. And then this one has been like I passed the golf course and it's literally like 4 or 5 Ghastlies on the map. I'm like,
okay.
No,
that's not bad. Good Gengar is relevant. Good Gengar could be relevant in the meta.
I mean, I have a 98% Gengar, so I'm not like super. Oh, I gotta get them. As soon as they say, "Hey, there's a shiny Ghastly Gengar,"
exactly.
I know it's in the game, but as soon as they say that, that'll give me the incentive to actually want to go catch all 5 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is like a risk, because that's where I've been pulled over before. Hey, you're trespassing. All right, okay.
Catching Pokemon here.
I was just catching
this Pokemon.
I was just catching them Pokemons.
I remember when we were out raiding at one point, we were all standing outside. We had like a big crowd along the side of the road. The one cop pulls up along the road, and he's just like, "You guys playing Pokemon?"
Yeah, he yells it out the window.
We're like, "Yep." He goes, "All right, catch it. Good luck." It's like, that's awesome.
Oh, that's so awesome.
But yeah, if you guys notice different spawns or different nests in your area, make sure you're reporting to the Sylph Road Nest Atlas. It only works if you work. So put in some work, damn it, Internet. I'm just, it's not great for an audio format, but from the side of my eye, I was just looking at Melissa, waiting for her to like call me a nerd or something for studying maps.
I'm holding back, my friends.
We still don't have any concrete data on how Wurmple evolves. And I've got plenty of candy now, and I haven't evolved, so...
I have not touched one. And it's like, it would be nice to see one of the evolutions in the wild.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of them either. But
like I saw a Hariyama or Hiriyama, whatever that thing's called.
Dude, I've really seen low counts of Gen 3. Like, I really don't see them that much. They're doing a good job of kind of balancing it out. Like, it seemed like the first couple days you saw them a lot. And now it's really backed out. It seems like they've turned volume down a little bit.
I just got my first Skitty.
Oh, Melissa just got her first Skitty. I still don't have Mudkip.
Really? I found in Mudkip nests. I mean, it's like it's either 1 or 2 are spawning.
That's fine. I had one run on me, so that was
no.
Oh, yeah, I got totally beat on that, but
he was like, "No way."
But I did catch a wild Vigoroth, which was cool. Oh, and
really?
I do. Yeah, let's talk about some of the Pokemon I mentioned last week when we were talking about what Pokemon are good in Gen 3, and we were talking about how Slacking has these awesome stats, and it was going to be this, major player in the meta. Well, as it turns out, he stinks. It's just a big wall of CP, and that's it. There was someone that posted on Reddit they had used him a champ to take down a 4,000 plus CP Slacking in a gym, and the Machamp, after 3 battles taking it out, only had like a 10% hit point loss or something like that. Like, the Slacking is weak, so even though the numbers looked good on paper, it does not translate into a very strong Pokemon in the battlefield.
Because if you can only get 1 or 2 attacks off.
Yeah, exactly. You get, one or 2 play roughs is not going to be enough to knock out a leveled Machamp. So I got to eat crow a little bit.
Stupid internet.
Oh, another thing I got wrong last week. I talked about the regionals, how we have Zangoose and Plusle, and I had said the other side of the world had Minun and Seviper, but Africa is actually on the same regional schedule as us. So Africa has Zangoose and Plusle as well. So it's not just the other side of the world. So I messed that up last week, so I just wanted to correct that. That's pretty much it, man. Adam, I think that was a show. Was that a show?
Wait, what were we doing there for the last 45 minutes?
I don't know. I think it was a show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were talking about Pokemon. That's a show. Lured
It was lured.
Oh, so that's pretty much it. You can, if you want more information about us, you can go to GottaWatchTheMall.com. That's our website. It's cool.
Tell them where they can tweet us at, Ken.
At GottaWatchTheMall.
How about you, Adam? Where can they tweet you at?
At Adam? No. At Phoenix Back for Fire.
Yeah, I'm Proud Gamer Tweet, and Melissa is at Super Sweet Miss. Don't tweet at her.
Yeah, I won't tweet
She won't tweet back. But we do want to hear from you. Please email us, luredup@gmail.com, and check out GottaWatchTheMall.com. Like I said, for everything, please leave us a review on iTunes. That's pretty much it. Bye. See ya.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.
You need a sign off. Lured up.
Lured up.
All right, bye. See ya. Thanks. Next week. So long. Bye.